price American was paying for its jet fuel went from an average of about 12 cents a gallon in 1973 to 59 cents a gallon in 1979.
When Al Casey joined American Airlines back in 1974, the airline was deep in debt, losing money hand over fist, was fat with some of the most expensive labor contracts flying, and saddled with uncontrollable fuel prices. And if that wasn't challenge enough, along comes the U.S. Congress, changing all the rules.
The passage of the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978 meant that American Airlines could no longer do business as it had in the past. The operation of the airline had to be restructured and its costs cut in order to survive in the new environment.
1929 found the bottom falling out of the New York Stock Exchange, and the panic was on.
Casey learned how to survive growing up during the Great Depression. He watched his dad's construction company successfully navigate the stock market crash of '29, only to see him lose it all in a lawsuit in 1930. The Casey family went from privileged to poor. But young Al Casey wouldn't give up his dream of going to Harvard University. He worked every job he could, from grocery clerk to preparing bait and swabbing decks on fishing boats, all to raise enough money to pay his way to Harvard.
And while their weary and battle-worn buddies watched from below, a historic scene took place that none who witnessed it would ever forget.
World War II put graduate school on hold for Casey. Al joined the Army. But after serving 4 years in the Army, he went back to Harvard and got his MBA. He also married his sweetheart, Eleanor Welsh. He called her Ellie. His business career started with Southern Pacific Railroad, working in the financial office with Ellie's dad, Andy Welsh, where he met the titans of Wall Street who would later do big business deals with him. He rode those rails into his next career at the Times-Mirror, where he expanded the Los Angeles publishing empire from newspapers into television, entertainment, and beyond. And all of that experience eventually landed him the big job at American Airlines in 1974. And what a big job it was. The airline had just lost an unprecedented $48 million, was over $500 million in debt, and saddled with the highest cost in the industry.
I think that Al had a lot of street smarts. He was firm, but he was fair, and I think he loved to solve problems, Mike. I think that was a large part of his success, that he loved to take over situations that were not doing too well and exert himself and his mind and his heart and his passion to correct them, to turn them around.
And turn around American he did. He got the airline into the oil business to hedge against soaring jet fuel prices. He put business spitfire Bob Crandall in charge of marketing, rearranged American's route system, renegotiated labor contracts, sold off some of its bigger, unprofitable jetliners. And then he hacked off Mayor Ed Koch by moving the airline's headquarters out of New York City.
As part of a profit improvement plan, the company's corporate headquarters was relocated to Dallas-Fort Worth in 1979 to achieve operational and economic benefits.
The benefits after Casey's 10 years as chairman of American? $31 billion in revenue, $500 million in profits. His rival and good friend, Southwest Airlines Chairman Herb Kelleher, says the rest is history.
And I think he had the capacity to get people to work together instead of working against one another, which I think is one reason why he was successful at Resolution Trust as well as at the post office.
Casey is gone now, but he left us a lasting legacy in his book, Casey's Law. He said, "A successful society is a people business, and the heart and soul of this nation are men and women who understand and believe that if something can go right, it should, and then do their damnedest to make sure it does."